You got anything to smoke?
No, I don't have anything to smoke.
The movie, bitch, tell us how sometimes it's useful to get out of your comfort zone. What is comfort? It's an established set of factors that make you feel safe and secure.
Like every tourist, you want it all to be safe, just like America.
As soon as one of the comfort-forming factors changes, it negatively affects the above-mentioned feelings. The director shows us how this works in the scene where the main character and his friends swim across the strait between two islands. Being confident in his own ability to swim, he's not afraid to take a risk and goes to the island not knowing how many kilometers he has to overcome. We see that he almost gives up after reaching the island, and it seems to us that the reason for such tiredness is underestimation of the problem and overestimation of his abilities. But it's not quite so. While they were sailing, his French friends decided to play a joke on the hero.
Richard! Oh, what? I'm so thin.
The information he receives has no way of affecting what's going on around him. They are halfway there, and the distance to one island and the other is the same. If the shark wants to attack, there is nothing to stop it, and they won't be able to fight back. And Richard realizes that.
What the fuck do you expect me to do about it? Nothing, I just thought you should know. It's a bit fucking late now, isn't it?
The only thing Richard can do in this situation is try to swim faster with more effort than planned. He soon discovers that Etienne hasn't seen anything, and that whole shark story is an evil joke. But on the feeling of comfort with which Richard swam before, the prank affected. Now he is afraid to swim, which makes him swim faster. That's why he's so tired on the shore. It's not about the distance, it's about the fact that from a certain moment he's been trying to get over it as fast as he can. In other words, Etienne changed one detail in Richard's comfort zone, and it immediately affected his sense of security. And now for the main point. If Etienne hadn't pranked Richard while already on the island and actually encountered a shark, DiCaprio's character might have died. Due to the experience in the strait, the sensations that Richard feels at the moment of meeting with the shark no longer seem new to him, and he finds the strength to cope with his fear, concentrate on the duel and survive. What in one situation was a reason to get out of your comfort zone, in another made the extreme situation more comfortable for Richard than for others.
My leg.
The flip side of what happened to Richard is the false sense of comfort that other residents of the village get. They think either that the shark is defeated, or that defeating it's easy, or that Richard will appear at the right moment and save everyone. Either way, they're all safe. But this is completely wrong. Your comfort zone is only your comfort zone. One person is not capable of creating a comfortable environment for another. This point is like that by definition. Comfort is a derivative of personal experience, so it can arise exclusively from one person, by his own hand and on the basis of his personal experience. For others, what is comfort for you may mean the biggest discomfort. By the way, there is a proverb about this. One man's meat is another man's poison. And that's the most interesting thing. Richard talks about the society in which he lives.
We all travel thousands of miles just to watch TV and check into somewhere with all the comforts of home. And you gotta ask yourself, what is the point of that?
The point is that living the comfort zone is a deceptive concept. It means the necessity to leave the comfortable environment, but such necessity can arise only in one case. If staying in this environment promises the absence of something necessary or important for a person. The fact that a person needs something that is not present in his environment means that his comfort zone is not complete, and realizing this, in turn, is interpreted as making change in it. After all, realizing that you lack something is equivalent to not being sure that you lack everything. And since you are not sure of something when you are in your comfortable zone, it means that you are no longer comfortable in this zone. So, the necessity to leave the comfort zone is always caused by the fact that the zone is no longer comfortable for you. But that's just a theory. I will explain what I mean exactly by this movie. The most interesting of all the characters is not Richard, it's Duffy.
A lagoon, you know, a tidal lagoon, sealed in with cliffs. Totally fucking secret, totally fucking forbidden. Nobody can ever go there, ever. But a few people went, once upon a time. Men and women with ideals. You understand? I'm not just talking about the usual travelling fucking wanks.
He lived in that mysterious settlement for years.
He was one of the founders of our community.
But he didn't kill himself on the island, he killed himself in the city. Why?
Daffy was a nutter, right? He went up there and he lost it. He's gone.
That's not really true. Duffy understood more than every member of the community that he created. He understood that there was something wrong with the society that had emerged on the island.
Everybody happy! Everybody having a good time, eh? Fuck you! Fuck you! Bastard parasites!
He seems to be talking about tourists stinking in Bangkok, but not really.
Ideals, eh? We were just fucking
Parasites! The big, chunky Charlie!
Duffy's talking about the people who had ideals and who once came to the island. And since he is one of the founders of the community, what could have disappointed him so much?
You see, in a shark attack, or any other major tragedy, I guess, the important thing is to get eaten and die. In which case there's a funeral and somebody makes a speech and everybody says what a good guy you were. Or get better, in which case everyone can forget about it. Get better or die. It's the hanging around in between that really pisses people off.
The Swede who died from the jaws of a shark is not the first death on the island. Etienne doesn't understand how an injured friend can be treated so cruelly.
Can't do this. This is disgusting. Take him back. Fucking animals.
Daffy didn't get it either, so he split from his own commune. Notice that he clearly didn't come to civilization to get rice or other food as Richard Eltsell do. He went back to civilization, left the island forever, left his comfort zone. Duffy is one of the founders of the commune with a reason. It's hinted that he created something that became his comfort zone, but there was something he found lacking in that. And that's the humanity that was often sacrificed to keep the secret.
We can take you to a hospital, alright? We can do that. But when you're there, you mustn't tell anybody where this happened, alright? We have to keep our secret.
Daffy has come to the conclusion that by entering his comfort zone he has lost something, and now he needs to get it back. To get it back for him and the other members of the commune. But how to do that? He resorts to the help of Richard, to whom he leaves a map leading to the island. He knows that Richard will build his own comfort zone, and will change the island in his own way by adjusting it to fit him. For the others, this will be the end of lack of humanity. They will either try to throw him out when they sense something wrong, or they will realize the problem. Daffy leaves Richard a map in the hope that he will take the risk of reaching the island, because if that happens, everyone who lives on the island will automatically leave their comfort zone and realize that by going wild, they have lost something that made them human. Richard became something of a ticking time bomb. By his presence alone, he corrupted the society that had formed on the island to point out to each of its members what they were losing by remaining on the island. The members of the commune went to the island, each leaving their comfort zone, but arriving on the island, they built themselves a new zone, as it seems to them more comfortable than the previous one. And now the cycle must repeat itself. That's what the movie Beach is about. Leaving the comfort zone is simultaneously a myth, because every person is permanently in the process of leaving the previous comfort zone and building a new one. And a necessity, because exactly in the destruction of the usual way of doing things lies the secret of further development and success. That's why Richard, after all he's done on the island, not only returns to his usual life unpunished, but also seems to become stronger and smarter. And is it that simple? Actually no, that's just a surface look at the movie. Now we are going to take a real deep look. Indeed, the most important character for understanding the true meaning of the movie is not Richard, but Duffy. But not for the reasons I stated above, but here is why.
Hey Richard.
It's been nice knowing you, man.
Nowhere before, Leonardo DiCaprio's character told Daffy that his name is Richard, so how did he know his name? Alex Garland, the author of the novel Beach, on which the movie was filmed, has once said that working on the book, he was inspired by Lords of Flies by William Golding and Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. Without going into the details of the plot of novels, I will note that the common for them gathering idea can be considered the idea that it's impossible to curb the natural wildness, as the wildness lives inside each of us. Danny Boyle emphasizes where the roots of the film come from with this scene at the beginning of the film. The guests of the hotel where the main characters is staying are watching Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now, the most famous adaptation of Heart of Darkness. And in the background of this fragment sounds the central question of the whole story.
We all travel thousands of miles just to watch TV and check into somewhere with all the comforts of home. And you gotta ask yourself, what is the point of that?
What exactly is Richard thinking about? That every human strives to know what heaven is like before he dies. Taking into account that everything that is offered to us from the outside becomes an attraction in the end, and therefore is not a commodity for the chosen ones. It's impossible to find paradise on earth by legal methods. Therefore, we have to resort to illegal methods. And we are talking about violation of not only state laws, but also God's laws. Taking a drug, eating forbidden fruit, winning the heart of another woman, sticking a flag on a beach where you're not allowed to go.
A couple of years ago, they came to us and they said that we could stay. That was all right, but that nobody else should come.
To put it simply, you can't achieve a dream, because when you achieve it, it's not longer a dream, and a new dream takes its place.
All in all, this really was paradise. Except for one thing. Desire is desire, wherever you go.
Notice how Duffy talks about the island and the beach.
It was a beach, I understand. The beach. It was too beautiful, too much input, too much sensation. I tried to keep it under control, but it just keeps spilling out, spilling out, spilling out.
He is clearly not talking literally about the beach. He is talking about something that's eating him up inside. The very desires that Richard has yet to feel. By the fact that Daffy addresses Richard by his first name, even though Richard never called it, the director indicates to us that there is a connection between these two characters that is not discussed in the plot twists. They are not just similar characters, they are very likely one character. Richard himself is not important at all. He should only be seen as part of Daffy's plan to destroy the commune.
I guess there's this urban myth going around here at the moment. It's about a beach. And this beach is perfect, man. It's an island, right? Hidden from the sea. Yeah.
Yo, tell him the best part, dog.
Plus, enough dope, Richard, to smoke all day, every day, for the rest of your goddamn life.
Somebody is spreading rumors about a magic beach in Thailand. Everyone would like to get to such a place, except those who realize that getting to such a beach will turn it into an attraction. It's a question of the existence of paradise. Paradise on Earth is not possible. If you find paradise on Earth, it stops being paradise.
Do you believe in that place?
But I guess you're gonna tell me that I should, right?
Doesn't fucking matter what I think anymore. It's up to you.
You know what happened? Duffy found a man who knows the dangers of going to a beach like that and programmed him to go there. Richard becomes Duffy's puppet. He goes to the beach to destroy it without even realizing it. Moreover, there's every reason to believe that Duffy didn't kill himself, but was murdered. The residents of the commune sometimes go to the big land to reload their supplies, but when Sal asks who will go to town with her, no one agrees, because the last time Sal went with someone to get supplies, that someone didn't come back. At the end of the movie, we are shown Sal's determination to kill someone for the chance to stay on the beach, which means that she could have killed Duffy, who told her she had to leave the island forever. Knowing that he is in danger, Duffy leaves them up to Richard, thus starting the process of destroying first the secret and then the commune. Why would he do that? Because Duffy doesn't want the beach to become an attraction. Duffy wants to save a beach that's just become like the hotel, where people from all over the world come from thousands of miles away to watch TV. Look at the line of people lining up for Richard's supplies. Batteries, condoms, tampons, newspaper, wherever they want. The beach is a movie about human nature. Wherever man touches, he will ruin. We try to escape the city routine to find paradise, but when we reach paradise, we turn it into routine. And you can't beat that, you can only keep paradise from us.
The name of Mr. Daffy Duck, birthplace Never Never Land.
Duffy has no name, no nationality. Not for nothing, the author thereby tells us that mentality, age, and other distinguishing features are not important in this case. A person is the same wherever and whenever he is born, and this cannot be changed. We should not seek paradise on earth, because it's by definition impossible. Once we reach it, paradise will cease to be paradise. Thanks for watching the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos. Put a like and write in the comments what movie you want to see on other review next.